get to it. Lesson number 5 today on day 5. We're going to talk about this thing called certainty. All right. So today's theme is certainty and clarity. This is one of my very favorite topics. This is a very powerful topic. And what you're going to find is that this is going to help you both personally and professionally. All right. This is going to help you in both of those different worlds. And of course, those worlds are blended. They're always blended, but this will help you in your business and also help you in your home life. And it will also, I think, help explain some of the behavior that we're watching other people do over the last several weeks. Okay, so it'll give that some context, give that some perspective. I think that will help you out. So we're going to start with a very basic psychology lesson here. All right, we're going to start with super basic psychology. So this is like Psychology 101. So imagine you're back in college and you go into the library. Remember those? And where you may look at a book, remember those? And if you were to find like a really basic psychology book, this is something you would find in really, really basic psychology. And the basic lesson is that human beings have 6 core needs. So when you go study basic psychology, what you find is that human beings, they only have 6 core needs. So this is kind of a takeoff on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you remember that from like high school or college psychology, remember the pyramid and the very basic things are at the bottom and the more advanced things are at the top. Well, this is kind of a takeoff on that, but you need to know that human beings have 6 core needs. Today, we're going to focus on the first one, and you need to know that they are ranked in order. So as we go through these 6 core needs, these are in order. It's not like these 6 things combined. It's all about how these things happen in order. So the number 1 need that every human being has, and this is huge takeaway number 1 for today, the number 1 need that every human being has is the need for certainty. All right, we have a core need for certainty that happens to be number 1 on the list. So I want you to think about, to help make this point, I want you to think about being placed in a dark room. And it is pitch black dark, and this is a room you've never been in before. So let's imagine you're just like immediately transported into a room. It's pitch black dark. You've never been in that room before. And I'm guessing as you imagine this, it starts to feel a little unsettling. All right, so how does it feel to be in a dark room in the center of the room, pitch black? You've never been in that room before. It feels super unsettling. All right, it feels uncomfortable, unsettling. You don't know what's going on. You've never been here before. It feels really, really uncomfortable, even at a very intense level, all right? So what would you do first if you're placed in that very dark room, never been in there before? What would you do first? Well, you're gonna put your arms out, okay? You're gonna put your arms out because what are you doing? You are looking for the boundaries, all right? You're looking for the wall. Now, of course, you're also looking for the light switch. I get that. But in order to find the light switch, you need to find the wall first, okay? So your arms are gonna go out, and you're going to start to shuffle very, very slowly to keep yourself safe, but you're looking for the wall, right? You're going to look for the boundaries, all right? We're always looking for the boundaries. You will achieve some sense of comfort when you finally find the wall. So I want you to imagine you're in that dark room again, you're feeling very unsettled, put your arms out, start to shuffle to the side. Now, finally, you can touch a wall, and it feels like a normal wall, and that's going to make you feel at least some sense of comfort and be like, okay, thank goodness, at least I know where one of the boundaries is, all right? So now I know where the wall is. Now I can start to search for the light switch, all right? So this metaphor applies to today, not only today, but at any time in life. The deal is, guys, when human beings are placed in a highly unfamiliar, highly uncertain situation, a human being will grasp for any kind of certainty that they can find. When placed in a highly unfamiliar, highly uncertain situation, a human being will grasp for any kind of certainty that they can find. So metaphorically, we have been placed into that dark room, all right? When this coronavirus came down and all these changes, all these unknowns, it felt like being in that dark room. We've never been in that room before. We have no idea where the boundaries are. So human beings have a really hard time when they are bombarded with uncertainty and they don't have the ability to overcome it, all right? They don't have the ability to infuse certainty back into their own brain to drive some of the uncertainty out, all right? And I will tell you, guys, this is why this happened, all right? So we're kind of past this now, the whole toilet paper thing, we're kind of through this now, but that's why this happened, all right? It's the need for certainty, because what happened was people were saying, well, geez, at least, if things really go down, if things get really bad, at least I'm gonna have some toilet paper in my house. Like they are grasping for any kind of certainty that they could find. And it came down to, at least I have some toilet paper, all right? So that was giving them some sense of comfort. And then lo and behold, people realized, well, geez, the kind of funny thing, the shelves get restocked. Like the semi truck shows up with more toilet paper and the shelves get restocked. Who knew? I guess I don't need to buy the whole shelf worth of toilet paper to have in my house and in my garage, in the attic, whatever, because the shelves get restocked. See that certainty of people being reminded that the semi truck actually does show up and the shelves do get restocked. That chilled people out. So now we're not seeing toilet paper get bought out of grocery stores, but that's why this happened. All right. So a little comic relief, at least we can give some context and understanding of why that happened. All right. So if we look at this idea of certainty, the concept of certainty, we can put it on a spectrum. All right. So one extreme is being freaked out. All right. So if someone has no certainty at all going on and they're really intensely focused on all the things that are uncertain, they are freaked out. And on the other end of the spectrum is someone who is confused. All right. So there's many levels to this when we talk about uncertainty, from freaked out all the way to confused. Neither one are really healthy. All right. Especially when confusion is indulged upon. Neither one is healthy, but let's talk about freaked out first. So here's the deal. People who are right now marinating their brain in a solution of pure uncertainty and choosing not to see any certainty at all are freaked out. All right. Those are the people who are freaked out. And I'm going to put that other slide back up again. It's those who are marinating their brain in a solution of pure uncertainty and choosing not to see any certainty at all. There's no other outcome other than to be freaked out, okay? Because you are in the dark room and you're just focused on the fact that you're just in the dark room and I can't believe that I'm in this dark room. And they're not choosing to find certainty. They're not even putting their arms out to go find the boundaries. They're just there marinating themselves in the fact that there's no certainty at all. Of course they would be freaked out, all right? So marinating yourself in uncertainty is not the formula for fulfillment, success, contribution, right? That's not the way to make positive things happen, is marinating your brain in that. Now, let's go back to the other end of the spectrum. Remember, we talked about from freaked out to just confused. And let's talk about this other end of the spectrum. So we kind of handled the freaked out part. Now let's go handle the confused part. So confusion, and we've talked about this the first couple of days, especially when indulged upon, is also not useful, all right? But it's just not as intense, all right? It's not as intense as freaked out, but also it is not useful. Neither one is useful. Freaked out is certainly not useful. Confusion also is not useful, especially when it's indulged upon. So when people feel confused, now we've moved from freaked out. When people feel confused, when they're more toward the other end of the spectrum, normally what we see them do is nothing. Okay, so when people feel confused about something, they will shut down, they will withdraw. Their response will be to do nothing. So we can put this in the model, right? If the feeling is confusion, the action will be nothing. And by the way, nothing is an action. So it will be withdrawing or buffering or ignoring, things like that show up when the feeling is confusion, okay? So that's why, by the way, that's why comfort zones are so attractive. That's why comfort zones are so attractive. It's because it's the known versus the unknown, okay? So in a comfort zone, you're saying, well, at least I'm surrounded by certainty. Like I know what this is. I know what this environment looks like, feels like. I can kind of predict what's going to happen. Sure, I may get a better outcome if I were to move away from this comfort zone, but man, I just don't want to go deal with the unknowns. It's way too uncertain for me. So that's why we will so often just hunker down and hang out in the comfort zone, because we're surrounded by this perception, this illusion of certainty, okay? So the thing is, when people feel crystal clear, they will act with confidence, okay? When people feel crystal clear, they will act with confidence. So put that in the model. They feel crystal clear, totally certain. They know what's going to happen next. Well, then what the action is, they're going to act absolutely with confidence. So there's this great line, comes from Tony Robbins, is where I first heard this. This is so profound. It's so simple and yet so profound. Guys, clarity is power. Clarity is power, especially right now. If you want to find some power right now, go get clear, okay? So clarity is power. I'm going to show you in a minute how to get some clarity in your life, but I just want to build this foundation to help you understand the importance of certainty, the importance of clarity. It's the number one need that human beings have. So your mission Your mission now and always, your mission is to infuse certainty and clarity into your own brain. It's your job to do that. We cannot hang out and sit around and wait for the world, for the universe, for whatever to deliver certainty and clarity to us on a silver platter, okay? There are a lot of people who are doing that, just kind of hanging out, waiting. You know, I'm gonna wait for the world to deliver all the certainty and clarity to me on a silver platter, then I will act, then I'll start contributing. But until then, man, I'm just gonna kind of check out. I'll just hang out here in my comfort zone. No, we must infuse our own certainty into our own brain. It's our job, it's our responsibility to do that, okay? So method number one, I'm gonna give you two methods on how to do this. Method number one is simply to see the certainty, all right? See the certainty that it does exist in the world. So if you were to make this ledger, like if you were to take out a clean sheet of paper and I told you, okay, draw a line down the middle, one column we're gonna call certainty, the other column we're gonna call non-certainty, certain, not certain. If I were to ask you to list out the things that you're not certain about, my guess is you would have no problem rattling off a whole lot of things you're not certain about, especially because right now we are bombarded by the uncertainty. We're like reminded of all the things that are not certain. We're like, oh yeah, I got that. That's right, top of mind, no problem. These are all the things that I'm uncertain about. But if I were to also ask you, okay, now I want you to fill out the left column. What are some things that you are certain about? The thing is, guys, the thing is that column would not be blank, all right? It would not be a column of nothing. It would be a column of many, many things, but all you have to do is see it. All you have to do is focus on it. All you have to do is really think about what are the things that you're certain about. All right, so what if you're certain about, you know what, my family. I'm certain that I love my family. I'm certain that they're healthy. I'm certain that they're safe. I really hope that, that your family is safe. I'm certain that my friends have my back no matter what. I'm certain that I have a group of people around me, my support network, that if the stuff went down, they would have my back. I'm super certain about that. I'm super certain about my skill set. I'm super certain that I've been through other hard stuff before, and I'm certain of my resiliency because of how I came out of that. I knew I came out of that better. I'm also, you know, when it comes to coronavirus, I'm certain that some super smart people are working on this, like all over the globe, right? There are people, you know, bajillion times smarter than me working on a vaccine, working on a remedy, and they're collaborating together. Like, I'm certain of that. And because I'm certain of that, I'm certain that one day we're gonna have a vaccine. Like, I know that. And I'm also certain that there are a lot of really smart people who are putting their heads together to figure out how can we prop up the economy? How can we help out small business owners? How can we help out people who are being unemployed? Like, I'm certain of that, okay? So we can be certain of a lot of things that can then give us some comfort. It's like finding that wall in the dark room, but we just have to look for it, okay? We have to look for the things that are certain. So that's method number one. Method number two is all about creating a picture, all right? So it's all about creating a picture in your mind, all right? So method number one is just look for the certainty that already exists in the world. And then number two, create a picture of what it is that you want, of what you want a future self to look like, what you want a future state of existence to look like. You need a vivid picture in your mind, all right? So it's just about what does it look like? So pick some point in the future, pick some circumstance, you know, that we would put in the model, and I want you to think about, so what does that look like? Think about a month from now, or a year from now, or 5 years from now, whatever it is, pick the time frame. What does the vivid picture look like when you reach the end? Because an essential skill today, and really always, is to create certainty in the mind when none exists in the real world. All right, I'll say this again. This is a really huge deal. An essential skill today, and really always, is to create certainty in the mind when none exists in the real world, okay? This is a really important skill to have. And the thing is, guys, examples are all around you. Like wherever you're sitting right now, the examples of this are all around you. So for example, this phone was an idea. All right, so everything around you was an idea. You know, this was an idea that Steve Jobs had. You know, what if we could have a thing where you could call someone and get on the internet and text someone and listen to music all in one? Wouldn't that be a cool idea? Amazon right now is just like doing amazing things. You know, they're becoming the go-to source. Well, that started as an idea. Jeff Bezos said, well, what if we had a store where someone could buy everything? So everything around you was an idea. So we need to get the idea in our head first in order for it to come true in real life. So with no picture of the destination, you're never going to get there. all right? And then it gets into like this philosophical conversation. Well, where is there anyway if you didn't have a picture of the destination? But you're not going to get to where you want to go without a clear picture of what it looks like at the end. Because why? Because clarity is power, okay? Clarity is power. So here's an extreme example, okay? And just know I'm giving you this extreme example just to make the point, only to make the point, but this is going to be an extreme example. Do you know about the guy Alex Honnold? Alex Honnold is a rock climber. You probably watched or know of the movie Free Solo. He's the dude that climbs the big multi-thousand-foot rock walls with no rope, all right? That's the dude that does that. Alex Honnold, the movie is Free Solo. Again, I'm not recommending that you literally or even metaphorically climb without a rope, but this is the point. The point is Alex can go up the wall, multi-thousand feet with no rope. I know it's super scary, but the reason why he can do that is because he has a clear picture of what it looks like with him reaching the top, all right? So he can see the end. He sees himself successfully completing the climb. He sees himself successfully standing on the summit of the big climb that he did. It is the picture in his mind that replaces the rope, okay? So the certainty in his head has taken the place of the rope. So there's got to be some certainty there because that's the number one need that every human being has. But he's been able to create such a vivid picture of what it looks like for him to successfully make every single move. Like he literally envisions every single move that he needs to make, envisions himself on top. It's that certainty and clarity that replaces the rope. Again, the extreme example, but just to make the point. So the thing is, you need to have a finish to this sentence. You need to have a finish to, I see myself. So in a month, I see myself. In 6 months, I see myself. In 5 years, I see myself. And to make it really clear and vivid, because without a picture of the destination, you're never going to get there. Clarity is power. It's the number one need that every human being has. So we must create that picture of what it is that we want, okay? So this is also we have a lot of salespeople on this, and by the way, aren't we all in sales? But this is really important when it comes to sales. Just understand this concept of clarity is power. Number one need every human being has is certainty and clarity. If you're ever hearing wait and see, it's because of confusion. All right, if you have clients say to you, you know what, we're just going to wait and see, it's because they're confused. If they say to you, you know what, we need to think about it, it's because they don't have clarity. So your mission with a client is to infuse certainty and clarity. And aren't we in real estate hearing a whole lot of this right now? And it's understandable. It's because the clients feel confused, they feel uncertain, but deliver any certainty and clarity that you can to them about the market, all right, and about trends and long-term history. Right, and so you can start to spoon feed a little certainty and clarity to help these people out, to help them feel better, and about any decision that they may want to make. So one of the best things you can do, whether you're in sales or not, one of the best things you can do is to infuse certainty and clarity into other people's brain. All right, so look for that. If you're finding someone who's confused, not certain, find ways to infuse certainty and clarity into their brain. Okay, so you have 2 assignments for today, guys. You have 2 assignments based on what you've just learned. All right, so we just learned all about certainty and clarity and the importance of that. You now have 2 assignments. Your first assignment should only take you a few minutes. We're going to call it 3 minutes. Your first assignment is to make that ledger, but you know what? We're going to ignore the one on the right and we're going to focus on the one on the left. So there's no need to reinforce to ourselves the things that we're not certain about. So no need to even write that stuff down. I mean, I guess you can if you want, but no need to like reinforce it in your head. I want you to complete the ledger. I want you to complete the list of what are the things I can count on? What are the things I'm certain about? They may be things, they may be people, there may be skill sets, there may be dynamics. Like I know someday the vaccine will come around. I know the economy will rebound eventually because it always does. You know, this country has been through hard things before. Like those are examples of things that you can absolutely be certain about. So make that ledger, make that list of items that you are certain about. And then your second assignment is to complete the sentence, I see myself. All right, I see myself. So pick a time frame, a month, 6 months, a year, 5 years, doesn't matter. Complete the sentence, I see myself. What you can do, and this can be helpful, is to think in categories. You could see yourself being someone, for me, I could say I can see myself being an even better father. I see myself doing, I see myself running a marathon. I see myself having. I see myself having another rental property, or I see myself giving. Julie and I, we like to send kids on Outward Bound. So I see myself giving another child an Outward Bound experience. So pick one of those things, be, do, have, give. Clarity is power, make it super vivid, pick the time frame, get the picture in your mind so that you understand what the destination looks like. Look for opportunities, guys, to infuse clarity into your own brain. I know that we're being bombarded right now with uncertainty, but the certainty is there. You just have to look for it. Look for the things you can be certain about so that you can create less space in your brain for the uncertain things to come in. Certainly don't marinate your brain in uncertainty, because that can only lead to you being it can only lead to you being freaked out. Guys, that is day number 5. And tomorrow, guess what we're going to do tomorrow? I'm just checking the time here. What we're going to do tomorrow is we are going to talk about the other needs. Okay, so we're going to talk, I mentioned there's 6 core needs. We're going to talk about the other needs and how those can be of value and useful to you. And we're going to have some fun with that. That's tomorrow's lesson. In the meantime, have an amazing Tuesday. I so appreciate all of you. Thank you again so much for engaging with us. You guys are the best, and can't wait to see you tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye.